Right now, human beings are currently moving across the planet at a scale that is difficult to visualize. By 2030, 60% of the world's population will live in urban centers. Millions are actively migrating, shifting humanity into massive hubs. This triggers a fear that globalization is a monolithic force, smoothing out distinct cultures until the planet becomes a single, generic landscape. However, Beverly McLachlin, former Chief Justice of Canada, identified a reaction to this movement that complicates that simple narrative. She described a paradox. The more our daily lives are determined by global forces, the more we are driven inward to fiercely affirm our local roots. This raises a question for every community on the map. How do they take the intimidating tools of global connection and use them to make their local identities stronger? In London, over 300 language groups occupy the same city streets. Locations like Brick Lane provide a physical record of this multi-ethnic landscape, where global commerce and local heritage sit side by side. For these residents, the goal isn't assimilation, disappearing into the crowd. It's integration, a deliberate effort to participate in a new society while retaining their original identity. Many cities support this through accommodation, providing specific services like housing assistance and language training that allow diverse groups to coexist without losing their history. You can see the result during the Bishaki Mela festival. It is a massive projection of Bangladeshi identity on a public London street, where traditional music and local flags are celebrated alongside British institutions. A global metropolis doesn't have to be a place where culture goes to hide. It can be the stage where that identity is publicly celebrated and expanded. In the Andes Mountains, Quechuan women are using global economic shifts to secure their community's future. They are practicing acculturation, the process of adapting to a new culture only at the speed and to the extent they choose. For generations, Quechuan weavers used these geometric designs to symbolize the land patterns of the Andes. But to reach international markets, they formed cooperatives and began altering their designs. They started knitting patterns like these ladybugs and teddy bears, specifically to meet the demands of North American tourists. This shift isn't a loss of tradition, it's an economic strategy. The profit from these global sales is what pays for the greenhouses and fortified roofs that allow the core community to survive in the mountains. Throughout the 20th century, the Inuit of the Canadian Arctic faced active attempts to erase their traditions. English was forced into schools, and traditional hunting grounds were disrupted by outside industry. This pressure triggered a period of cultural revitalization. Instead of fading, the community began to actively resurrect their language and beliefs, using the tools of the modern world. They used mass media to tell their own stories, creating television networks that broadcast in Inuktitut. The film Atanarjuat, The Fast Runner, brought an ancient Inuit legend to a worldwide audience, finding critical and commercial success on a global scale. This visibility translated into political autonomy. In 1999, after years of negotiation, the territory of Nunavut was created, giving the Inuit control over their land and natural resources. Instead of letting global media drown them out, the Inuit utilized broadcasting and film to cement their traditions into the global record. This pattern of survival is also visible in Franco-Albertan communities. They exist as a French-speaking minority within a dominant English-speaking region. To protect their culture, they use systemic legal tools. They rely on Section 23 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which provides the legal mandate for French language education. Because they secured their schools through the courts, they created a protected space for their language to thrive. This legal foundation is what allows local music, festivals, and art scenes to continue defining who they are. Whether it is through urban integration, through economic adaptation, or the use of mass media, these communities aren't just reacting to globalization, they are navigating it. The threat of being lost in a vast, connected world is often what motivates people to stand up and define themselves. Globalization doesn't have to be an eraser. It can provide the exact resources a community needs